I'm the political son of the late and great Tony Benn, the greatest Prime Minister Britain never had. I've been telling stories about him to people who are interested in my long relationship with Tony Benn, which began in 1973 and ended upon his demise. And Gayatri and I attended his funeral and saw him carried out from the church. If I recall, his coffin draped in a Palestinian flag. Mr. Benn was a great supporter of the Palestinian cause. There he is with my grandson, who's now working on the show. Mr. Benn held in his arms all of my children, except my daughter, his mother, he did. He held my daughter, whose son that is, in his arms. He held my daughter, her children, my subsequent children. This was the greatest Prime Minister we never had. I was telling a story today of the time in the early 1980s when Tony Benn was routinely described in the national media as the most hated man in Britain. That was his sobriquet, the most hated man in Britain. I had been speaking alongside him at a massive rally in St. George's Hall in Liverpool. We stayed in Liverpool overnight. We set off for the next stop on the tour in a motorway services station. This was in the early 80s, before the era of selfies and telephones. When we came in, Tony had his tea and toast. He drank nothing else. He ate nothing else most of the time. And the chefs began to come out from the kitchen wearing their tall chef's hats in order to come and get an autograph from Mr. Benn. Then the other staff, then the other customers in the cafeteria, then the people buying petrol at the petrol station outside began to leave their cars, their doors open. Everybody flooded in to the motorway service station. And the most hated man in Britain got up on a chair and made a speech to the people, cheering to the rafters. The most hated man in Britain.